Hi class, for this lab we're going to use Excel to produce the mean, variance, and standard deviation of a probability distribution. So let me have you started by opening up the actual Excel file, and we're going to work on problem 7. You already have the solution to problem 6. Okay, so once you open up the problem on Excel, I actually added the following. I added the next two columns since we need the x and the p of x and x squared and p of x. And then we're going to run the calculation. So you're going to be submitting you running the actual code or what pops up on your end here. And here's the first step. So once you've actually expanded these cells, and to expand them, you can go to the top and then click on the center. And that would actually display the entire columns. So the first part to do is to get the column of xp of x, and this is done by saying equals, and then you're going to multiply this value. So click on the where you have the actual first x, and then you're going to multiply. You press the multiply button times the probabilities. Now, the next step is crucial. We want to make sure that the calculations are done automatic. So once you do the first one, check that Excel saved the command. Then you're going to drag that corner to the bottom, and then it's going to actually give us the calculations of xp of x. Next, we technically need x squared p of x, so that's going to be this value. We're going to square that times the probability. And then double check that it did what it was supposed to do. So in this case, b squared times c. That looks correct. Then you're gonna actually drag that value all the way to the bottom. Now, the next portion, if you look back at the formulas, and here I already typed up the formulas. So if you were gonna do anything on paper, you would write down your columns, exactly what gives you either on the calculator or on Excel. And then the mean is defined as the values of xp of x, so that's gonna be the sum of this column. Now on Excel, and here I just typed in the mean, this is given, and you can simply say that this is equals to this value here. Now, if yours is displaying like mine at the moment only 4, and we want to see the decimal places, you can just expand it or do a left click, and then you go to Format Cells, which is going to be somewhere here. Give me a minute. So left click, and then there's supposed to be, oh, okay, so you have it here. So under the general, you can actually modify for a number how many decimal places you want it to display. So typically you just do a left click and then format cells. Okay, here's the format cells. And then you tell it how many decimals to show you. Okay, at the moment, let me just display everything that it's giving us. So let me add another decimal, just so that we're matching to the previous answer. So your mean, it's going to be the sum of this column. And then before we go to the variance, let me just display the formula. So the formula for the variance, it's going to be the sum of x squared p of x, which I have here, minus the mean squared, but you're using the value that hasn't been actually rounded. So you're going to get this value here minus this one squared. So on Excel, you're going to do that this is equal to your 18 value there minus, and then we're going to square this one. And then that should give us 2 and a little bit of cash. The last portion is on the standard deviation. You're just going to take the square root of the previous answer. So equals SQRT, and then we want Excel to do that automatic. So our standard deviation is about 1.42. If yours is not rounding differently, you can just do a left click. But a lot of the times, running these problems on Excel for the homework may be a lot easier. Now, for anything you're doing on paper, I still want you to technically rewrite the columns on paper, and then you're providing formulas, variables, and then your solutions. So for this one, all you're doing is submitting a picture of you running the problem on Excel, and then on the homeworks you can run this process, and it'll be a lot easier.